Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be celebrating the MMA clown, ladies and gentlemen. The MMA clown. Ark from Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the Mecca or the Fecca. It's going to be who killed the clown today, ladies and gentlemen. Like the game Clue, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown with the candlestick, ladies and gentlemen? The clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The clown is dead. Who killed the clown? Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Unfortunately, the clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The end of an era, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Mila, get out. That's right. What do we got here? It could have been Mila who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely wasn't MMA Joey or Bodak. Could have been BK. Or possibly Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen. Mila Stoner. Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Well, maybe we'll find out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. See who's going to come on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got. Let's check into a little bit of video and see if we can find out who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. End of an era. The best MMA YouTuber of all time, ladies and gentlemen. That's the clown. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Crystal sticks. Oh my God! Somebody knows the Simon Feck material around here, ladies and gentlemen. Crystal sticks. Woo! Crystal sticks killed the clown. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a good scenario, ladies and gentlemen. Crystal sticks. I forgot about crystal sticks. That crystal sticks may have killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. When you start thinking about it, like who killed the clown, you might think it's going to be Mila Stoner or Jimmy the Drunk or BK, Brandon K, Burger King. But then a name sneaks in like crystal sticks, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Now, thanks to Jimmy the Drunk and whoever Watch Clown Show is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to be able to, look back on the great career of the clown, Ark, Clown Show Live. And it's funny how Watch Clown Show is a 2020 YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to all that. Let's listen in a little bit here, see what we got, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can find some clues here. Fight Night Frankie's number 9, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember that.
But the
kill somebody right here, ladies.
Piece of shit. Stonehenge. This one, again, I just don't think she deserves to be top 5. I mean, she's not relevant enough, and that's just how I'm looking at it. Like, too much recency, but definitely going on my all-time scum list. Definitely up on the upper, because The only real
We got bad weather, ladies.
But she's an honorable mention. Fat Will from back in the day. So here's my thoughts on this one. Okay. I see it like a lot of people say, man, you can't talk about a woman like this. You can't do it. She's a chick. Don't do it, man. Let it go. I mean, yeah, even if she's bad, don't bash a woman, especially on Christmas Eve, right? Well, I have to. I got to do it because unfortunately with all the dudes on the list, yeah, I mean, we could fight. You can fight. With a woman, you can't fight. You can, but you can't. You know what I mean? It's a lose-lose. So now all you can really do with a chick is you just kind of got to try to expose them for their lies and deceit the best that you can. And I think a lot of you know what's going on with this one and how this one, it turned out, how bad it is. I just learned a couple of nights ago that this chick went live and laughed and said that she lied about having a miscarriage. Mic drop. Is that not the worst thing that you could think of somebody could do? Think about this. We discussed this the other night. You're talking about she made a joke out of claiming she had a miscarriage. Told me in a backstage, back door, we were talking about life, and she had said she had a miscarriage, how it affected her and her husband at the time, whatever it was. She made it seem like it was a serious issue. And then this week she did a live stream, whenever that was, and apparently said that she had lied about that, and she was kind of laughing about it. And Liar Liano giggled about it too. That's what we're dealing with here. I mean, how could she not make the list? We're talking about a female that gets off on calling grown men her bricked up army, calling grown men pet names, now going around using their face, saying they're rapists. She could be sued for that, by the way. And I would advise him to sue her if she uses Cameron's name and says that about him and uses his face, that's grounds to be sued. You can't do that. You can't say that about, but this is a woman that we haven't seen, goes around trying to pretend she's some hot chick when we haven't seen her face, we haven't seen her body. We don't know anything about her, really. We hear a voice, and it's not a great voice. We hear a creepy giggle, it ain't a good laugh. And we hear a desperate, insecure 28-year-old woman that longs for men to notice her, longs for a group of men to give her what she needs, which is attention. Notice me, please. I'm the girl around the community. I am hot, aren't I? Like, don't you all want me? Like, I mean, I'm a girl. And all the simp incels give in to her. Hit her up, DM her, try to reach out to her. They go on her panel and obey her. I was the only guy that didn't do any of that. From the day one, I kept her in her place. I said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I haven't seen you. I would never bring you over here and just hook up with you randomly. I'm not, and she's telling me, oh, you're the only one that don't sim to me. All these other guys, I don't like them. They're pathetic. And then you find out she's probably telling everybody the same thing, right? You know what I mean? Like just one of those lying rats that you can't believe anything she tells you. Well, I mean, how can you believe anything she says? Did she fake her miscarriage? I mean, is she lying about her parents being dead? Is she lying about her grandma being, sick and needing help? So she's telling me in a backstage that her elderly grandmother is in a nursing home, or doesn't want to put her in a nursing home because she doesn't want to do that to her. That her grandma's, really fading, and that she's got to get her grandmother home. And that her life has changed. She has to look out for her grandmother and help her out now. How can a woman that has an ailing grandma in the home that needs help around the clock, how could that girl stream for 20 hours? How could she be on YouTube streaming and slandering grown men in a community with an elderly, sick grandmother? Where's the grandma at? In the basement? I mean, you wonder what's a lie and what's truth. That's real. And at this point in time, I would say nothing she says can be validated or verified. You can't take anything as truth. None of it can be accepted as truth. Yeah, I mean, her name's, I don't believe her, obviously her name's not Mila Stoner. That's not her real name. We don't know what she looks like. We don't know really that much about her. We all we can go by is one guy that apparently hooked up with her. And that guy, is a weirdo who's like in here being a victim every stream and thinks the world's out to get him. And you can't hardly believe anything he says either. He's off his rocker. What do we know about her? I mean, she had a guy in Liar Liano that she accused of being a sexual predator that was stalking her and put fear into her, and she was worried about him. 2 months later, they're hanging out on stream laughing together, openly hanging out, and he's obeying her. They're having phone calls with each other. I mean, do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more? Do I really? And honestly, because of the turnout, I won't be saying anymore. Guys, thanks.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, the clown was gone, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's seen the clown since then, ladies and gentlemen. End of the era, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest MMA YouTuber on the planet, ladies and gentlemen, has left us, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, clown, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Was it BK? Was it Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, by the way, Jimmy the Drunk, thanks for the videos here, ladies and gentlemen. Was it Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, if you don't like the clown, you just don't watch the clown, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Well, he might be talking about you, ladies and gentlemen, but, I mean, just don't watch it. That's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the game Clue, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown with the candlestick, ladies and gentlemen? Unbelievable. We had a couple more lined up here, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? This kid don't know how to play the game. Where did they go? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Slime Effect don't know how to do nothing, ladies and gentlemen. I have 2 more videos, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe this is it too. Maybe this will explain. Maybe this video will explain why the clown has left us, ladies and gentlemen. And then maybe it won't, ladies and gentlemen. Why does the guy keep saying ladies and gentlemen? There's only one lady in the community, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Mila Stoner. I'm going to have to get new equipment, ladies and gentlemen. I live up in a tree house, ladies and gentlemen, trying to load up this video. I had 3 videos lined up, and then we got some conversation going on after that. But guess what? The video's not loading, ladies and gentlemen. It bumped itself out of the stupid thing. You got to be kidding me. Where are we going? That's it. All right. Where's the back button, ladies and gentlemen? Jimmy the drunk, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck's having trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Pissed. All right. Damn it, ladies and gentlemen. Person yellow, podium blue, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of those things that doesn't get through in here, was it? Or was it you, Feck? That wasn't me. I didn't kill the guy, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can get. I can't do nothing. This thing's in big mode right here. Pissed. You have a whole show ready. I mean, what's going on, man? Control C, whatever. Fucking bullshit. Nothing like planning out a shit. Here we go. What? It's too huge, man. Pissed. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck needs his grandson to help him operate the computer, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, Alan. That's right, Alan. The old man, Simon Feck, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, when you're a bird like Simon Feck, when you are 8, 9, 10, 20 years old, you are old, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead, Alan. Sup, Simon? There's the Tom, ladies and gentlemen. Tom was in that 56-hour stream from Mila Stoner, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Mila Stoner did not break the clown's record, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, Mila Stoner did not break the clown's record. You have to be awake the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be sleeping for 8 hours at a time, ladies and gentlemen, and having yerp with an underscore. You know, Jock and Wool Black Betty. And by the way, Wool Black Betty, they were talking bad about you on the last hour of the whole 56-hour stream, saying you had some kind of agenda coming into there, ladies and gentlemen, talking really nice about Giuliani. After Giuliani put in like 27 hours of the 56 hours, ladies and gentlemen. The last hour, they were hammering on him too. If you didn't watch the last hour was just bashing on everybody that was in the 56-hour stream that she happened to sleep for like 16 hours of. That is not streaming for 56 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else we got. We got people typing in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, this is for the clown, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the clown, ladies and gentlemen. We put out a missing person report for the clown, ladies and gentlemen. But they said that he is not classified as a person, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. 50 hours MMA, Tom says, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like the game Clue, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't you just step up? Whoever's proud about taking the clown down. Who's proud about taking the clown down, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't like what the guy says, you don't listen. Don't tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Aren't you in control? Like, I'm not in control of this stupid thing. Okay? I have 2 other videos to play, but I can't play them. And then Giuliani has to say this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, 56-hour stream, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody was doing their part, ladies and gentlemen, but the last hour, everybody got bashed, ladies and gentlemen. And you can't do a world record stream, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody could turn the stream on and have it go. I could turn the stream on and have it go for 29 days, ladies and gentlemen. And then maybe the power will go out. But if you're sleeping during the thing, it doesn't count, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. The clown is dead, the end of the era, ladies and gentlemen. Now what are we going to do? Now what are we going to do? I mean, what are we going to talk about now, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be boring around here, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever took the clown down, I want to say thank you very much. Now it's going to be boring around here. Oh, boy, the clown must have talked about me, ladies and gentlemen. My butt's hurt, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, somebody else just went live, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting at like 40. It's just dropping like a fly, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody else went live. Guarantee you. Every time Simon Feck goes live, somebody else goes live. Try to steal it all. Simon Feck was up to like 50 people, down to 8. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy Giuliani, Argentini, MMA must have killed the clown. I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, we're going to throw a funeral for the clown, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest MMA YouTuber of all time, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Ain't nobody going to be like the clown. But the clown threw a cliffhanger on you. The clown threw a cliffhanger on you, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming back. You got to watch that Watch Clown channel, ladies and gentlemen. 16 people in here, ladies and gentlemen. At one time, I seen it was like at 50. We got a URL in here, ladies and gentlemen. What's your URL? It's a URL. Wait till bedtime finds Fex. He's going to go semi-mainstream. Bedtime MMA. You know how Bedtime MMA got his name? He got his name because he gets knocked out all the time. He won't even go. He gets knocked out in training, in practice, in camp, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen. Bedtime MMA can't fight worth shit, ladies and gentlemen. Bedtime MMA because he's got caught sleeping all the time on the mat, ladies and gentlemen. Bedtime MMA is like the best mattress shopper there is, ladies and gentlemen. He's always down, face down on the mat. That's how he got his name, I'm telling you. Simon, will you interview clown sick chickens using bird talk? The clown can't be taking care of his chickens anymore right now, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's like rest in peace to the clown, ladies and gentlemen. You know, future people in the MMA community, the future people that will come into the MMA community will have no idea of the greatness of the clown, ladies and gentlemen. He's been gone for like 4 days and people are still talking about the clown, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's a legend right there, ladies and gentlemen. It was Crystal Sticks. She seduced him, and that was it with that amazing cake. Yeah, that's true. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it was Crystal Sticks, ladies and gentlemen. Crystal Sticks, instead of Mila Stoner, ladies and gentlemen, could have killed the clown. Now, I'm seeing right now, the next person on the list is Giuliani Argentini, ladies and gentlemen. Clown hung himself from a cliff, ladies and gentlemen. A stiff cliff, ladies and gentlemen. The clown hung himself, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, let's take a moment of silence for the clown, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's enough, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, the clown. You know, the clown had a grip on you. Everybody, the clown had a grip on everybody, ladies and gentlemen. But somebody killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. You think a clown could live on forever, right? You just get a different person and put some makeup on their face. But no, no. That clown is actually dead, ladies and gentlemen. The big clown car, the big clown hearse from the sky came down and got clown, ladies and gentlemen, because of BK. Burger King, ladies and gentlemen. Burger King guided that clown car hearse down and picked up the clown, took him from us, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody killed the clown. It could have been Crystal Sticks, ladies and gentlemen. Could have been Miles Stoner, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen. Fight Night Frankie, ladies and gentlemen. Bodak. Musical MMA, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody killed the clown. You should be ashamed of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. The guy, there's Kanata. The guy, all he did was talk, ladies and gentlemen. But somebody stepped to the clown, and guess what? That clown folded, ladies and gentlemen. The clown is dead. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's got some big question marks in here. Let me tell you something. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right here. This girl right here, Mila Stoner. Mila Stoner is the top. I'm telling you right now. She's the top. Tell me what the word is, ladies and gentlemen. When the police are looking into it, suspect, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm a bird. I don't know the words, ladies and gentlemen. The number one suspect right here, ladies and gentlemen, Mila Stoner. Mila Stoner probably or possibly took the clown down. I mean, she stole his show. Mila Stoner stole the clown show. She has the clown show too, ladies and gentlemen. Stealing everything. Timing people out, telling them they better do this or, blackmailing people like Lane. If Lane doesn't say sorry, she's going to put her. Hey, listen, Mila Stoner has a game. Either say something nice about somebody or something mean. That's a really nice girl right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mila Stoner. The clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. It looks a lot like Laura Sanko. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, for Simon Feck YouTube short, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mila Stoner's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mila Stoner's hot, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe it's just my thought, maybe, that Mila Stoner killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Who took over his show? It's like the game Clue. Who killed the clown with the candlestick, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I'm telling you right now, who has the clown show, ladies and gentlemen? Think about that. It's an exact replica, only it's a girl that's a nice girl pretending to be mean. So when you just pretended to be mean, that's mean. The clown is just mean. Naturally, ladies and gentlemen. around killing the clown, ladies and gentlemen. Slime Effect's pissed. This is going to be a boring community around here now, ladies and gentlemen. Getting rid of Ark. Who else is going to rile up Giuliani Argentini? Now Giuliani Argentini's just going to be flat, ladies and gentlemen. The clown would rile him up and everybody else up. Now it's just going to be one flat piece of shit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what Leandro says here, ladies and gentlemen. No, it was Cam Hassel. Hey, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Hassel, the guy with a mustache, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Good point. Maybe Cam Hassel killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good point. Cam Hassel got his butt hurt I don't know how many times. Cam Hassel puts out his own videos and he gets in trouble. Cam Hassel puts out videos and he gets in trouble from his daddy, the clown. Cam Hassel could have killed the clown with a hitman, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Tom says he blames Juice Man. That's right, because Juice Man owes him $1,000. Isn't it $1,000? The Juice Man owes. Oh no, that's Giuliani, right? He owes. All right. Maybe the Juice Man killed the clown. I really don't know all about all that. Their things together, ladies and gentlemen. And BK. I think BK had a big part of it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope BK is proud of himself, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to throw a lot of ladies and gentlemen in there, ladies and gentlemen. Even though we only got one sort of lady in the community, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown in the kitchen with a revolver, ladies and gentlemen? You'll see everybody hated the clown, but the clown stirred things up, ladies and gentlemen. Now everybody's going to stay home in their own place and just be complacent and boring, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Cam Hassel, your material sucks balls. Cam Hassel, you and your mustache suck balls. And your material. You got to unweird your material, Cam, like me. Slime Effect doesn't do any weird material, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Hassel is talent. Listen, Alan, I believe I was the original one that said that Cam Hassel is talent. Of course, Cam Hassel is talent. Slime Effect says so that must be true. But Cam Hassel thinks I'm mad at him because he didn't come on the Halloween, the goated clown show on Halloween night. I could care less. It was great to talk to the clown for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Now the clown's dead, ladies and gentlemen. He's rotting. I think they threw him to the hogs, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, why bury him when you got to give food to the hogs, ladies and gentlemen? Nothing goes to waste in Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen, except people's brains, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that lives in Little Cock, Arkansas, knows that nothing goes to waste in Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen, except people's brains. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got next. Juice Girl's debt is clown related. Oh, that's right. That's right. What it was some kind of bet that Giuliani says that he had control over. Why would anybody in their right mind do a bet? Like say, I don't know, Giuliani, I bet you won't stand on 1 foot. I mean, I don't know what the bet is. That never gets clarified, as far as I know. We got Western Mass, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, Western probably put in, I don't know, 14 hours on that 56-hour stream that Mila Stoner slept for 16 hours of, which right there, that is not a world record and does not beat the Clown's record live stream. But anyways, Western probably put 14 hours in of that, right? And for 3 or 4 hours, Mila Stoner kept saying that she was going to glaze Western, but she couldn't think of anything to glaze Western about. So she stalled for like 2 or 3 hours, and then finally Western quit asking her, like, hey, when are you going to get to the glazing part? You know? I'll tell you right now, Simon Feck says Western is the greatest mod that Simon Feck has ever had, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, he's the only mod, by the way, that Simon Feck has had. You know why? Because Western is the best mod there is on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Somebody wants thoughts on Jake Paul cutting Anthony Joshua's brake lines. Woo! I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but somebody cut the Clown's brake lines, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know, it's leaning towards Mila Stoner. Mila Stoner ended up with everything. Who has something to gain to kill the Clown, ladies and gentlemen? Who has the Clown show right now, ladies and gentlemen? Who's mimicking the Clown right now, ladies and gentlemen? Who's benefiting from the Clown being dead, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mila Stoner. That's who it is. Mila Stoner's benefiting from the Clown being dead, ladies and gentlemen. 4 days gone, ladies and gentlemen, and we're still talking about the Clown. Most of you out there, when you're gone, nobody will talk about you the next day, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, something slow here, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Do you have a Mr. Potato Head juice, man? How'd he die? Wait, we're trying to figure that out. It's like the Clue. It's like Clue. Like, who killed the Clown with the candlestick in the living room, ladies and gentlemen? Trying to figure it out. You tell me. Was it BK? Was it Bodach? Was it Western? No, not Western. Excuse me. Musical MMA, ladies and gentlemen. Was it Mila Stoner? Jimmy the Drunk. You can't exclude Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Jimmy the Drunk is out of a job, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy the Drunk is out of a job. Jimmy the Drunk could not have killed the Clown because he would know that he doesn't have a job anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Jimmy the Drunk's running out of clips, ladies and gentlemen. You know why? Because the Clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody killed the Clown. I hope you're proud of yourself. But basically, now you have those things tracking. I know one of my videos, the title got taken down. And they got rid of the video. It only had 3 views, and the 3 views were me. And the video got taken down because of the title. They said it was like hatred or some shit like that. They got shit out there searching shit. It might not have been anybody, actually. What do we got here? The Halloween special will be remembered for generations. That's right, Alan. That was a good one. That at the end of it, that was the rap battle and everything too, right? Yep. That one was like, I don't know, like what's his name? No, no ceilings. No ceilings. Always saying that one's goated. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Cheddarhead in here, ladies and gentlemen. Cheddarhead's got like 3 boxes and some shit. I can't see that shit, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever that is, ladies and gentlemen. Some people think that Simon Feck is Cheddarhead, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. It's possible, ladies and gentlemen. Feck the legend, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody fecked the clown, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. 14 is probably about right, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you why I know that. Simon Feck recorded the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still downloading it. Supposedly, Mila Stoner's trying to, I don't know, she says she's working on, bringing it up and everything, but I guarantee you she lost everything. Simon Feck's got the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be doing that stream eventually, ladies and gentlemen. I have 2 other clips to play here, but guess what? Simon Feck doesn't know how to. Remember, Simon Feck's old, ladies and gentlemen. About as old as Clown. That's right, Clown. Clown would only sing songs from 1984, 85, 6, and 7. The Clown is like 56 to 58 years old when he died, ladies and gentlemen. The Clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The big clown car hearse came down from the sky and snatched up the Clown, ladies and gentlemen. The Clown has left the MMA building forever, ladies and gentlemen. Until maybe a week when he comes back on Watch Clown Live, ladies and gentlemen. Western Mass Sleeper. I'll tell you what, Western sort of was sleeping a little bit. I mean, he was awake, but he was kind of like sleeping, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I like to be, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm working right now. I'm not drunk right now, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you somebody went live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing all the work here. Western was doing all the work on that show over there. That show they wouldn't have had any guests the first 4 hours if it wasn't for Western. That's right. Western left Simon Feck's stream and went straight over to Mila when she went live. My only mod went right over to Mila and got on there. But Western did a great job. He wasn't glazing Mila or anything like that. As a matter of fact, he stuck up for Simon Feck. I had that whole video where she bashed me for 56 hours. Well, about 42 hours. Kept bringing me up all the time. Simon Feck was talking about how fat she is, like PHAT, ladies and gentlemen. Playing a game, but then she jumped to conclusions, maybe listened probably for like 10 seconds and thought I was saying that she was fat, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who she is. I was saying that, by her voice, she's fat, ladies and gentlemen. So, she's hot. Mila Stoner's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Get a good look at her. That's Mila Stoner right there. Mila Stoner's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Going around getting everybody to rally up against Simon Feck. Oh, Simon Feck was mean to me. She didn't get the gist of the video, ladies and gentlemen. I have it. I'll be doing a video on that one day. I'll be playing that. What do we got here? Thoughts on the rumor that you and WC are the same person? Well, listen, Tom. So, some people think that I'm clown. Some people think that I'm cheddarhead. Yeah, and that on that stream is when I heard the Western. I mean, it's very possible. The only problem is if I'm Simon Feck and I'm not Western, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm the same person or the same, we're the same or whatever. Simon Feck can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a stupid bird brain. I was trying to piece that one together, Tom, but I couldn't piece it together. Email Nelson made that rumor up, by the way. Yeah, well, I know who that guy is. Oh, listen. So since I have the whole 56 hours recorded, right? One guy, he said a couple bad things about Simon Feck. So what? But basically, PTSD. PTSD did an awesome performance there while Western was on near the beginning. And PTSD put everything in perspective. He actually predicted what would happen at the end of the stream, that Milo would turn on everybody. Okay? So when that video comes out, I'm waiting to see if she's going to put hers out. Then I don't have to do it. But PTSD predicted what would happen the whole time, and what everybody would do. He predicted everything like to a T. It's amazing. I mean, I watched it live, right? But then I also watched it one other time afterwards. It's amazing how correct that the PTSD guy is, whatever. That would be a really trippy, if I was Simon Feck, watching my own live stream from a remote location. So here's the thing with Western Mass Climber, right? So when I heard like back in the musical MMA days, and then I heard that, Western was like a tree guy, climbs trees or whatever. So I thought Mass was sort of like, I don't know, like the mass of the ship, it's made of wood, a tree, right? Back in the day, even today. So I thought Mass was like, he was like the Western world mass climber or some shit, And then PTSD saying that he lives, sort of close to Western, and Western Mass is Massachusetts. I never put that together. You know why? Because I got a bird brain, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, the clown is dead, ladies and gentlemen. And who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Whoever killed the clown is a fucking asshole, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Pissed. Somebody says cringe in here, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got? There it is. Total cringe, ladies and gentlemen. All right, whatever you got to say. So Simon Feck, right? Simon Feck has had YouTube channels for a long time, right? And had StreamYard, but never really watched anything, knowing that basically you can hide your identity. But YouTube is supposed to be a visual thing. It's like video, right? So then stupid Simon Feck comes up with this, stupid costume, right? Instead of just, turning the camera off. So, anyway, Simon Feck's stuck like this. That's it. There's your cringe. Like, it really hurts me too. Calling it cringe. It really hurts. So Bath Zerk, number 10. You can't even be original. You got to be number 10. You're number 10. You can't even be original. Or is that your IQ? Listen, Bath, Balthazar, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what it is. Listen to me. When your IQ gets to 11, sell. Talking, guys telling you this, they can't even read what your name is. Pib, it's like you've been under a rock for 2 years. I don't know who Pib is. Did I miss something? Did you clip me peeing on stream? I haven't checked everything out yet. I actually went to sleep during some of it, right? And then I haven't watched everything back yet. But yeah, I mean that sounds gay. Like, yeah, I'll definitely clip it. Is it funny? Mila Stoner says, great stream, ladies and gentlemen. Did Mila Stoner, ladies and gentlemen, now that we got her up on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen, did Mila Stoner kill the clown to steal his show, ladies and gentlemen? Who advanced? Who had something? Who was rewarded as the clown had been dead, ladies and gentlemen? Mila Stoner going around doing marathon streams, ladies and gentlemen. Mila Stoner going around being toxic. You talk about Cam Hassel. Cam Hassel said that he was going to leave the girl out of the thing. You should. Mila Stoner is the most toxic thing there is. She has a game that lands on people's names and makes other people. She's not hoping that it lands on say something nice about somebody, which makes them sound gay. She wants it to land on say something mean about somebody. You talk about who's toxic? The most toxic person in the community is she's actually a nice girl. And how does Simon Feck know that? Simon Feck knows stuff, right? And she's playing a game, right? Knowing that she's doing mean stuff. That's meaner than somebody like Clown is just naturally mean, ladies and gentlemen. That's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Great show, she says. Simon Feck just called Western a tree. Like that. Here we go. Here comes Mila Stoner, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds like Simon Feck has a crush on PTSD. Do you want me to let him know that you want your beak stroked? That's a good one, Mila Stoner. Yeah. But, I mean, no. What do we got here? Mila Clowner, fish, or yeah, all that stuff. I don't know why that doesn't show up on here, but yeah. So the clown show lives on, ladies and gentlemen, through Mila Stoner. The only person that benefited from the clown being dead, ladies and gentlemen, is Mila Stoner, stealing all of his subs, ladies and gentlemen, stealing his format, his stealing his gimmick, everything. Who benefited from the clown dying, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mila Stoner, ladies and gentlemen. Did we miss one? Yeah, we did. Hold on a second. Tommy, why didn't you tell me you were so funny? I know. I mean, I don't. Have I been missing Tommy the whole time? But I noticed Tommy on your 56-hour stream or whatever. By the way, if you're still there, Mila Stoner, your 56-hour stream is not breaking any records. At least it's not breaking the clown's record. You can't be sleeping during the stream. When you sleep 16 hours in the 56-hour stream, that's not a 56-hour stream. Well, technically it is, but it's not clown style. Let's see. Clown probably deleted his channel himself out of spite. Well, that's true too, but basically who got rid of him from YouTube, okay? And then who was giving him trouble over there? And he got demonetized. So what if it's still the same thing? It's still killing of the clown. I just want to say, who killed the clown? And thanks for killing the clown. Now it's going to be boring around here. Because I guarantee you Marla Stoner's not going to be streaming very much longer. Marla Stoner herself is going to give up streaming pretty soon. That's just my guess, ladies and gentlemen. Because I'll tell you, PTSD predicted it. I'm just telling you right now. And then also like Doug Memo's saying the same thing at the end of the stream. The last hour of that stream, they came to realize, I think. I don't know. We do need toxic people around here. We need Marla Stoner if the clown's going to be gone. But I think they realized at the end that, they were a little too toxic. At least she was. I guarantee you, Marla Stoner, the PTSD predicted it at the beginning of that 56-hour stream that Marla Stoner isn't going to last very long. And the clown says that, he would go, even though he doesn't confront anybody, I mean, you can't go around beating a girl up. And if you say something bad about a girl, then, it's like it's big trouble. I'm not saying anything. It's great. Now we got clown number 2. That's all. What do we got here? We're missing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. There's Doug Memo. There's the Doug Memo. Doug Memo. I don't know why people don't like Doug Memo. But Doug Memo, everything he says seems to be correct to me. I mean, you listen to the clown. Well, the clown's gone. The clown's dead. But Doug Memo seems to be on top of everything. The way I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if he's bashing me coming up. Though I think I see him in there. And I'm pissed because there was Douglas Memo. That's right. BK is already dating PTSD. Too late. Simon says Tom, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Tom, I seen they tried to secretly exchange contact info. What's up, says Cole Z, ladies and gentlemen. You got Cole Z, ladies and gentlemen. I left before all the PTSD mods turn trans and go to TransCon. Marla's streamer. She's definitely a streamer, ladies and gentlemen. Put on one hell of a stream there, ladies and gentlemen, but you can't claim the 56 hours as a world record over the top of the clown when you're falling asleep and sleeping and having, I don't know, what's his name, Jock and Western take over for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Douglas Memo is a certified stepper. Well, I know one thing. Doug Memo has only been in a strip bar 2 times, and that was to help get a friend a job there, ladies and gentlemen. If you meant to say stripper, I don't know. There you go. Doug Memo is a real gangbanger. He sticks to the code. I don't know. I mean, everything I see Doug Memo talk. I mean, everything is like spot on. The one time Doug Memo and Wool Black Betty did like a day during the daytime. Well, stream together when I guess Marla went to sleep or something like that. That was a good one. That was like goated. Is this the clown coming in? Who do we got here? Oh, it's a skinwalker. He's been stepping. Okay. Here we go. He was I2 toxic. Fun fact, there's a conspiracy about Douglas Memo. About killing the clown? That's not the conspiracy, is it? Douglas Memo and Viral Gabe, same person, supposedly. Can you investigate? I don't know how good I am at investigating, but I can play the game Clue, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. Much love from India. There's the David Panda guy. David Panda almost got banned from the 56-hour stream, and somehow, by the skin of his teeth, ladies and gentlemen, he hung in there. Marla Stoner was saying, "You do what you got to do to the mods, or do what you got to do, or whatever." And somehow the Panda Man from India hung in there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought he was going to be gone, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show you Dino. Oh, wait, wrong stream. Tom's in a couple different streams, ladies and gentlemen. Tom from the Dino. By the way, I don't know if Douglas is in here. There she is. Skin, how can I contact you? Also, you're managing mod, okay? Somebody needs to help. Somebody needs to help Mila Stoner out with reading. Just like Simon Feck. Simon Feck can't read either, ladies and gentlemen. Mila Stoner had a problem with the word corralling. When Mega, whatever her name is, Mega gave $600, and then Mila Stoner was reading her, I don't know, what was it? I don't know, memo or whatever. I don't know what the hell it was. And she used the word corralling, and Mila Stoner couldn't read the word corralling, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, it wasn't $600, ladies and gentlemen. It was $25. I believe Mila Stoner was just trying to get people to, I don't know, match the $600 or something. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? It's none of my business. I don't care, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not here to bash anybody, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to find out who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be boring around here without the clown, ladies and gentlemen. It's already boring without the clown. Yeah, you're in here watching Simon Feck. I mean, how much more boring can we get? Giuliani of L.A., BK of Hollywood, Juice Man. See, Simon Feck can't read that either. From Slauson, and Tom from the Dino. Is that the four people who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Why does the guy keep saying ladies and gentlemen? Mila Stone, are you serious? Mila, I left on accident. The guy above Western Mass is a cancer to MMA YouTube. By the way, he will kill Mila's channel. You're telling my Simon Feck's only mod, ladies and gentlemen, is going to kill Mila Stoner channel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to him, Western. Don't listen to the toxic people, Western. Western kept that stream alive for at least 14 of the 56 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Guess PTSD was right. We got Skinwalker, ladies and gentlemen. Mother, when will you be live so I can exercise my managing mod authority? Oh my God! Last time I was live, Mother Stoner went live and everybody left here. I had 39 people in here and they all ran over to her. Thanks a lot, Skinwalker. Who cares, ladies and gentlemen? When I go live, it's for, making shorts, right? I like the shorts. And then I had 3 videos lined up and only got to play one because Simon Feck doesn't know how to play stupid videos. I accept the power, Mila. You're going to be busy in there, Skinwalker. You might want to get paid. If somebody gets a hold of that Doug Memo, I don't think you need to release the last hour of that 56-hour stream. I mean, you know what you're talking about, right? There's going to be people that are acting like your friend that aren't your friend. See, Doug Memo is correct on a lot of things. Doug Memo, PTSD, very correct, very good information. If I were you, I wouldn't release the last hour of that 56-hour stream. I'm just telling you right now. And Doug Memo's right. You got people that are just shitting with you and acting like they're your friend. And they're not your friend. I could care less. Like Simon Feck has other channels. I manage other channels. This is me just having fun, ladies and gentlemen. I got to explain that to a few people here and there, but who cares? Whatever. This is fun, ladies and gentlemen. Supplements off the cloud. Dude, listen, Alan, I had that video lined up, and I can't play it. And it kicked that thing out. I got to use a different laptop next time. I had that one lined up and one other one. Pissed off because it was like, remembering the clown and like, this is how he died or whatever. All right, Skinwalker types like a blind person uses speech to text. He is a Skinwalker, right? Here we go. You only have people in here because of me. Feel free to say thanks at any time, and I will be going live tomorrow for about a 25-hour stream. Oh, I want to thank Mila Stoner. Mila Stoner for having people in here, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck wants to thank Mila Stoner. And then, therefore, Mila Stoner wants to thank the Clown Show for everything that he did for her, ladies and gentlemen. Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? Skinwalker, oh my God, holy crap. Mila, Skinwalker, 25-hour. That's right, 25-hour stream tomorrow. And Skinwalker, you better be there for the 25 hours. I mean, that's what she's doing, right? She has to do, everything that the clown did, right? So you're going to be demanded 25 hours with no pay. Ladies and gentlemen, Mila Stoner is not scamming anybody, ladies and gentlemen. She's going around giving out gift cards, ladies and gentlemen. I remember the gift card, ladies and gentlemen. The gift card was promised for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then I guess it went to him, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. No scamming. Here comes Doug Membo. Simon Feckums. I'm not a gangbanger, but I do abide by G code. That's like when somebody is in a store shopping that has stolen cheese in the past from the store, and you know that they're live and it's going to be on speakerphone, and you don't say, hey, something about shoplifting. Yeah, exactly. More than most modern gangbangers, like it's my religion. I mean, Doug's a good guy, man. Doug's solid as far as I could tell. Doug doesn't say any bullshit. Doug shoots it straight, I guess. I don't know. This is my opinion. Alan's talking about, Milo Stoner not scamming. What rumor are you talking about? Someone is saying you and a guy named Virogeb is possibly the same person. Where'd that rumor come from? Because whoever started it or who would need to be looking at. Do it the double eye emoji, ladies and gentlemen. Doug's putting up the double eye emoji, ladies and gentlemen. Tom wasn't talking about Western. Oh my God. So we got people. See, Simon Effect doesn't know how to do this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And also, too, I got to check something out. One second. I don't see it. Why don't I see it? No, I see it. Never mind. Uh-oh. Get sold Fent. And Doug Memo says, Skinwalker, you are not my friend. But Skinwalker, make sure you're in there and you're modding for 25 hours or tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We got Milo Stoner coming in. I was talking about a funny hypothetical death, and it got censored. Who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're proud. Killing the clown. Fucking ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. It was the best thing going. Oh, wait. Thank you, Simon. In fact, please come by tomorrow. Much love from India. Now, what? I forget his name. Isn't he? You're from India. Ah, it's Milo Stone. Not a scam, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's one. Doug Memo wants to know if Leandro. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Are you my friend with the double eye emoji, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know why those things don't come up. I don't know why they don't come up. It's got to say face paint drinking or whatever. Now, why doesn't that stuff come up? Stupid shit. Yeah, it's David Panda. That's right. I'm sorry, dude. I just couldn't think of your name. I've been seeing you around lately. I couldn't think of your name. I know you're the one from India. I just couldn't think of your name. And now me being embarrassed, I'm sure I'll remember. You're the one that almost got banned from the stream. Or at least timed out. There it is, one of those things, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Marla, please stream tomorrow. You know why? Because David says that Simon Feck streams suck balls, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, who killed? Ladies and gentlemen, who killed? Ladies and gentlemen, who killed the clown, ladies and gentlemen? You should be ashamed of yourself.